Apparently, Kevin Tracker is ready to bring disgrace upon his ex Wendy Williams and release a few recordings where Wendy is found in a terrible light and taking medications. Clearly, this man couldn't track down any proof permitting him to get his provision installments back. So he moved to filthy strategies. Once more yet, what is Wendy's take on it? And what sort of film Kevin holds that may supposedly demolish Wendy's standing perpetually greetings everybody? And welcome back to Celeb Live channel. I keep my eyes on the most outrageous occasions in the stage and continuously present to you the most sweltering updates. Well, Kevin Tracker has just demonstrated that his procedure to dissuade his ex Wendy Williams doesn't have anything to do with his ex Wendy Williams, doesn't have anything to do with a honor and regard word, is on the road that Kevin indicated that he makes them premium recording of Wendy, which can bring disgrace upon her name, yet is he simply compromising her to get some money, or does he truly need to obliterate her life significantly more? Stay with me for the rest of this video so you won't miss any detail. For what reason does it seem like Kevin Tracker is so frantic to effectively hurt Wendy that he essentially designs things that have no point subsequent to discovering that he probably won't win his new body of evidence against his ex? He flew off the handle and uncovered that he had accounts of Wendy taking medications and took steps to spill them to the police. Well, it seems like one more action to destroy her standing and perhaps coercion her into giving him cash. It isn't so enormous of a mysterious that Wendy had a ton of undesirable propensities in the past. Like, come on, even Wendy herself over and over conceded that her life was brimming with addictions. And it was a genuine issue for her for a long time. Pondering her previous, she was astounded at the number of individuals that realized about it yet never really halted her in her meeting. Within touch, she stated, "I was a working fan. I'd work from 3 in the evening until 7 p.m., get off and party, until 7 a.m., then rest, until 2 go to the radio broadcast, and do everything over again. Individuals around me knew, yet no one at any point expressed anything to me. No one had the guts, which is stunning to me." She was fighting her compulsion for quite a long time, and I should say effectively, until that miserable backslide in 2019, which he chose to separate from Kevin Tracker. The partition was more difficult than she might at any point envision, and Wendy had several harsh years surrendering to her addictions until she at last pursued a bold choice and looked into recovery in 2022. Well, we can see from her photographs and recordings from that period that she was not in a decent spot, and numerous VIPs stayed that Broadway is definitely not a stroll on the ocean front. It's a lot of work and strain. And we as a whole skill much when he was working, thinking about that she was on television consistently for quite a long time. Yet you know who I think additionally contributed a ton to her fixation issue? Her own better half, Kevin Tracker, who currently takes steps to release a few recordings of her to the public. Well, Kevin has never been an ideal accomplice for Wendy. Nearly starting from the start of their marriage, he deceived Wendy by laying down with a mixed drink server sharing a Hudson, and even had the nerve to save his Corson for a considerable length of time. And here's more. This time, while Wendy was on television engaging the public, this man partook in her cash and surprisingly spent it on his sweetheart Tranquil. And obviously Wendy knew about her better half's doings this time, as the previous television star went open on the Jess Cagle show. She stated, "I've had some significant awareness of her, nearly starting from the starting. I've realized that Kevin is a sequential cheat. With the assistance of a confidential specialist, Wendy had the option to more deeply study Kevin wasting and how he purchased his paramour, a games vehicle, a jewel ring, and a house a couple of miles from where he resided with Wendy. And it pleasant that she continued to pay that examiner, since he saw as more proof that Kevin lost all disgrace and honor, and the couple's parted came after Kevin fathered a kid with Sharina, which for Wendy was a lot to bear in her narrative. She genuinely makes sense of why this was the straw that broke the camel's back for her. She said, "You won't pull off attempting to pull off having two families, you grimy, wretched canine." And in spite of the fact that Wendy attempted to act extreme, as a matter of fact, Kevin's unfairness in separate from hurt her a ton, and surprisingly, caused a backslide, so she surrendered to her addictions again. So this man himself made this wreck disturbed his better half state, and presently he attempts to utilize it against her fans are maddened by Kevin's bold conduct. He out of surprisingly ought to be conscious toward Wendy and quit pursuing her with his threatening messages. One individual remarked that man is a genuine jerk. Go get one more lady to utilize and endlessly misuse. And let Wendy be, and one more added women. Kindly don't permit these men to control you like this. The adoration for cash is the base of detestable. Well, right now, I as of now concur that Kevin is unadulterated evil. Since he was unable to get what he needed, in a legit way, he chose to get back at Wendy for removing him. And that is the reason he needs to hurt her, and disheartening something that tosses serious shade at her. It seems like that after he lost his provision, he disregarded his job as a mindful ex, which he used to play so well after the separation. Recollect how enthusiastically he attempted to persuade himself and everybody that their detachment was genial. And he thought often about Wendy's prosperity. Only a couple of months prior in his meeting, he said, "I will just say for the time being that it makes me extremely upset to see what is befalling her. I know she's not in a decent spot, and she is encircled by individuals who are making the most of her." I mean, he expressed that as though it wasn't his unfaithfulness and wasting that added to her backslide. And why in the world Kevin feels that he never made the most of her in light of the fact that the proof states in any case. Yet he shouldn't stress any longer, since Wendy is perfect liberated from each unfortunate fixation, remembering her ex and back for her feet. So perhaps Kevin can quit opening his mouth and attempting to hurt her now, since he possibly embarrasses himself, and assuming that he accepts that he has something to release that will destroy Wendy's public picture. Well, I must say that Wendy herself can release a ton of soil on him, which she might compose to do in her new secret venture. And how about we see who individuals will trust all the more, yet regardless of whether Kevin holds film that might show Wendy in a terrible light. As he states, "I accept that he is simply attempting to break her spirits with void dangers." And many individuals concur with me that Kevin is so covetous and poor for her millions that he will utilize any and open door to debilitate her and compromise her public picture. One of my supporters remarked, "Go on," and Wendy bombed provocation charges on him. Yet he understands what he's doing. He's attempting to separate. Once more, Wendy supplicate. And here's one more assessment. This man is not generally hitched to Wendy. You don't have anything to do with anything that she is doing now. So continue on and quit attempting to take her cash. Yet evidently, Kevin is the main individual known to mankind who didn't as yet understand that his ride on Wendy's back is finished. And she is as of now not under his impact. And anything film she currently possesses, she is simply going to snicker hard at his pitiable desires to demolish her, standing in light of the fact